Well, good evening. My name is Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. Welcome to Beaver Creek Deer Camp this morning. I mean, not this morning, tonight. It's the end of the day. I just climbed out of the tree stand about an hour ago. I've had some supper. I'm having a hot chocolate tonight, no coffee. It was cold, cold, cold up there in the tree stand today. This morning is Wednesday. This morning you got that little 15-second video. I haven't gone out of the cabin, so I sent that along by cell phone. My intention was to get home for a few minutes and maybe upload this week's video, but that didn't work out. Now tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So I'm in here, I'm going to hunt the morning. I'm hoping I am very, very late for Thanksgiving dinner. Because if I am very, very late for Thanksgiving dinner, that means I got my deer tomorrow. And there's a good chance of it. Tonight it's supposed to drop down into the teens. Nice, clear night. With a sunny day tomorrow. So any of my experience, as long as the wind's not blowing in the morning, clear cold nights like that with the sun coming out in the morning, that's I could be sitting in a pretty good spot. I believe that the spot I have is a morning spot. I would rather it be an afternoon spot because it's a little easier to hunt. Don't have to get up so early in the morning. But anyways, the reason I think that is because most of the trails lead out into the swale grass where the sun beats in there. I'm on that southern exposure all day long, so the sun beats into that swale grass quite nice. And most of these runs head right out into the swale grass. I haven't gone out in there because I don't need to. I know what's going to be there. You're going to find beds. You're going to find some high spots and you're going to find some deer beds. But that's not what I wanted to talk about in this video. I get sidetracked real easy. But what I want to talk about in this video, I want to talk about scent control. Because, well, for one thing, every once in a while you'll hear me drop hints and I drop comments and stuff like that I don't buy into this or I don't buy into that. One of the things that I don't buy into is scent control, as far as commercial scent control products. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that for deer hunting and scent control is, and this is my way of thinking, and it's the way I've done it forever, so there's nothing new here. And people before us did it long time before a lot of these commercial products came on the market, scent control. A deer can decipher between lots of smells. You know, that's what they do. Their nose, their brain that's direct drive for them. They're a prey animal. So everything's trying to eat them, kill them, and everything else. So they have to learn what things smell like, what danger is. And it's been my experience that just because a deer smells you doesn't mean he runs off. Or just because a deer sees you doesn't mean he runs off. My way of thinking when that comes to stuff like that is, before a deer will bolt, he has to put 2 or 3 of his senses together before he says, this is a problem. If he smells you and sees you, boom, gone. If he just plain sees you, maybe he's going to stand there and look at you. If he hears you, but he doesn't see you or he doesn't smell you, he's not going to bolt. So you kind of a deer has to put 2 or 3 of his senses together before he's gonna head up through the woods and get over near the county. But back to scent control. Because I stay in these cabins for a week, 2 weeks. There's no showers. All you're getting in a cabin like this is a sponge bath at best, and that's not every single day. So as far as smelling like a human being, it's just going to happen. And I know I'm not the only one that goes to camp for a week. If you go to camp with all your buddies and you hang out for a week, you're going to have a scent problem. You're probably going to downright stink. But anyway, if cover products and all of that, that's all it does is cover. I've always been my thinking that a deer is smart enough to figure out the difference between covered up with something and not smelling you at all. I believe that it is probably impossible for a deer not to smell you at all. I don't care what the commercials say. I don't care what the products say. To me, that's just a bunch of foolishness. Because the very best scent control, very best, it doesn't get any better than this. That is wind direction. I think a lot of hunters think that they've used a cover scent, or they've got a spray in a bottle. They've done all the stuff that these magic products say are going to take care of your scent control. I don't believe that. Not for 1 minute do I believe that. Because if the wind is blowing in that deer's favor, he's going to smell you. That's just the way it is. He's going to smell you, period. So when I say the wind is in my favor, now today was a little bit breezy, but it was breezy in my favor. The whole time I sat in that tree stand, the wind was in my face. And it's been working out that way pretty good so far this season in that stand. I'm hoping it's not just a fluke and it's just the way the weather is, because I plan on having to stand there for a while. And so far, there's only once or twice I've sat there where the wind was in the wrong direction. It changed and then went back into my favor, but for the majority of the time, it's been blowing in my favor, which is blowing my scent away from the area that I think the deer are going to come from and blowing it out across the swale grass that's behind me. And I don't believe there's a deer out there once you get past the edge of the woods and the swale grass. I believe the beds are going to be found up close to where the tree line is. But as far as what I can see, and I've showed a view from my tree stand, I don't believe there's going to be any deer off in the distance. So any of my scent that goes out through that wide open expanse, and I'll put a little bit of that in this video. I've got that clip, so I'll show the view from my tree stand, and you can see the swale grass that's behind me. As long as my scent is going that way, I'm good with that. And for that, it would be due south. As long as my scent is going due south from where I'm setting, and the prevailing winds right now in this particular area seem to be coming out of the north. It's cold, you know, sitting in that tree stand. You can feel that the prevailing wind it seems to be out of the north. I think there's a couple of things going on for that. One is there's a pretty good sized ridge behind me, so I might be getting some downdrafts off that. I ain't quite figured it all out yet. First year here with the cabin, so I'm learning as we go and just plain having fun with it. But so that's my idea about scent control, is work with the wind. Learn to work with the wind. Keep that wind in your face. I don't know if they still teach that or not, but boy, when I was growing up, and my grandfathers and my father, always keep the wind in your face, boy. Keep the wind in your face. And if people aren't telling you that and teaching that right now, keep the wind in your face, then they're probably missing the boat, because you're outside of that buck coming through, snorting and grunting and being on a full rut for that doe. You're never gonna outfox a big buck if you're not working with the wind. Now, if they come through snorting and grunting and all that, then they could care less. You could run them over with a freight train, and they probably still wouldn't see it coming. So, but if he's got a chance to work the wind as he comes in on you, and he can smell you, he's going to. So keep that wind in your face. And I don't know anymore. I probably don't got anything else I can add to that. But the only thing that I do play with is I do play with Tinks 69 and the wick in a bottle, stuff like that. And it's because I've shot some big bucks using that stuff. Had some fun using it too. So I do use that. But I don't normally put it close to where I am. I put it away where I want the deer to be, and hopefully he'd be on a different wind pattern than if any breeze catches me. Hopefully they would catch the tink smell from a different source of wind, and maybe the two wouldn't combine. That's my idea, anyways. By putting the scent bottle off at a distance, is that maybe you won't put two and two together that we belong together. I got hot chocolate going tonight. I'm finally getting warm. I've been here in the cabin. It was cold in that tree stand. I've been here in the cabin now for about a little over an hour. And if you ain't been following the channel, this is my brand new cabin that I just built this year. So we bought a piece of property a mile back in the woods. The only way in is by snowmobile and four-wheeler or on foot, whatever comes first, I guess. So we got this cabin finally built. It's nothing big. It's a place to hang your hat, have a cup of hot chocolate. Everything's here waiting for me. Outside of my rifle, my clothes, my bedding, my coffee, whole 9 yards is in here waiting for me. That's why I call it an outpost. And I will be here through Thanksgiving, so hopefully I get my deer in the morning, and I was hoping I'd get one tonight. I'm allowed 2 deer this year. I was going to take a doe tonight, if it was, especially when it got closer to dark, because if I could get a buck tomorrow morning, that was going to be pretty nice to ride out of here tomorrow with 2 deer on that 6-wheeler. I think it would be pretty neat to have 2 deer hanging out there in the meat pole. Well, thank you for coming along, and I will see you next week. I hope you enjoyed a good cup of coffee with me here at Beaver Creek. And you have a good night.